What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week 0 podcast.
Running out of time, finally throws, and it is gone! Touchdown, Jalon Roberts! Hit backwards, up in the air, it's on the ground, it is down! It is over, and the Irish have knocked off number one Clemson! Herbert's got it. Stiff arm again, quarterback in the clear, inside the 10, a hat-trick of touchdowns from Justin Herbert.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Week 0 podcast, coming to you live from the apartment in Beckley, West Virginia. I am your host, Connor. I banned DeCandy, Doherty, Ryan, Irish own Vegas, Fravel, which honestly it's kind of crazy. I don't think much fun was being had by anyone that went there by either team, because you guys were probably staying away from the casinos. The casinos were really pissed because they lost.
I will say this though,
money.
I'm surprised that BYU didn't have more fans because of Utah's proximity to Vegas.
That is a good point. I would have thought it would have been more
because they came out for the Oregon game and got beat by 21, so they were like, all right.
Okay, it's not worth the travel anymore. So below me is Lucas. Has Bo always? I can't see the whole name.
Has Bo always known? I think he's known this whole time.
And then we got below Ryan. We just got Phil. But you can tell he's just Phil, but he's a Michigan fan. So
He's the owner of the YouTube channel Michigan Madmen, so he makes some pretty good content. Michigan recruiting, talks everything Michigan football. So
I really was pulling for Maryland to beat you guys. And if you take away Blake Corum, and I think Maryland wins that.
No, if Talia doesn't come out on that one drive where he gets hurt, I think Maryland wins that game.
Also that
a little better than him in that game.
Huh?
I think his backup played a little better than him in that game.
Well, there was that one interception that wasn't an interception that clearly hit the ground that you guys got banned for. That Maryland didn't challenge. Maryland also muffing the opening kickoff. I think that's, take that away. That's 7 points right there potentially. But, it's a shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of thing. But Maryland plays, I think with Tua, I think he potentially has one more year. I think he's a junior, but I'm not sure if he will go into the NFL. I think he might.
Well, if he's a junior, he might have 2 because of the COVID year.
That's true. So, but I'm wondering if he'll stay another year. But I think with him, Maryland's a pretty good challenge. I think they could put up decent fights against teams. And then of course they lost to Purdue, who we all thought they would beat this week. So that sucked.
Purdue is a sneaky team. Purdue is.
We all thought that the meme of Purdue beating ranked teams would not hold because Maryland wasn't ranked. But Phil, glad to have you on the show. We do appreciate you being on, man. So let's immediately just get right into it, guys. If my computer could be a little bit faster, goddamn. What is the best and worst thing you saw in week 5? We'll start with you, Phil.
The best thing I saw. And can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Great.
The best thing I saw had to be the catches in the Kansas TCU game.
Oh, yeah.
They were just making excellent catch after excellent catch in that game. And I think that's the best thing I saw. The worst thing I saw is that Kansas lost. I just wanted them to be undefeated, to cause some upheaval in the college football world, if you will.
I think, and we'll get into it with the poll, but I was glad to see that they weren't punished for the loss, and I don't think they dropped it all. They stayed right where they were. I think that was the rankings being like, we're not going to punish them because obviously losing Jalon Daniels hurt them, but Jason Bean did pretty good. But But I do think if Daniels was there, I think they would have probably won that game a little bit more.
Also,
So
they didn't have the second best running back in the Big 12 in Daniel Hieshaw. I mean,
Oh, really?
He's their start. The guy that did that crazy 60-yard run where he broke like 7 tackles on the way to the end zone.
Yeah, the running back. Yeah.
Yeah. He
and then TCU got away with. We'll talk about it, but TCU got away with pass
little
interference.
PI, but
yeah,
don't talk about it.
Okay, Lucas, what was the best and worst thing you saw?
Best thing I saw. I'm gonna say, and this is a little bit of a homer pick, but I'm gonna say Oregon's defensive backs holding up against a really good pass offense in Arizona. They have probably the best receiving core in the Pac-12 this year. And the fact that we actually were able to hold them pretty well, I think the only big plays we gave up were long touchdown runs, actually. So seeing that was really, really cool as an Oregon fan. And one of our starting corners, he got ejected from the game for targeting. And then our freshman came in and got an interception later in the game. So that was really cool to see. The worst thing I saw, I'm just going to say it now. I'll get to it later. They're actually part of my bummer. But Oklahoma's offense was the worst. I don't think I've ever seen Oklahoma struggle so much on offense. It was absolutely disgusting. I didn't watch like any of the game because it was like watching a team, a Power 5 team
playing 250 yards or something. Like they had to have. They had 39 total passing yards. So
hey man,
they clearly didn't do very well.
I knew there was something ridiculous. It was like really low passing or rushing. I remember seeing that, but I couldn't remember which. I knew it was really bad.
Lucas, they played to the name of their quarterback. They played like complete and utter booty.
Well, he's not even their. He wasn't even their quarterback.
Well, they were making it sound like he was going to start.
It feels like you.
They probably should have at least put him in the game, but I think they must be redshirting the kid because he didn't have a pass this last game.
Davis Bevel is terrible. He was terrible at Pitt, and now he's terrible at Oklahoma.
Yep.
Ryan, what was your best and worst thing you saw?
So the best thing I saw, I know, would be the Kansas game. The fact that even without their starting quarterback, who was, you can debate whether or not Jalon Daniels played, or Bean obviously played better than Daniels did, but Daniels only had 10 passes. But to lose your Heisman caliber starting quarterback and you not have your starting running back, and also I believe their number one wide receiver was like banged up the entire game and was in and out. And to still hang in there with a TCU team that has themselves a Heisman caliber quarterback and only lose by 7, it's just impressive. I said in the group chat during the game, I didn't know I could be more impressed with this Kansas team than I already was, but that just shows, Leipold, he's going to get a big-time job. That's culture when you lose your starting quarterback and your starting running back and play that well. That's just a winning culture. So that was my best thing. And then the worst thing would have to probably be just how Jaron Hall played against Notre Dame. I mean, everybody the whole week leading up was saying how good this kid was, and his first pass was an interception. The very next drive, he threw another pass that should have been a pick 6 if it was caught. I wasn't impressed, and I also thought he was really good too. But it's just like the two biggest games against Oregon and Notre Dame, he's just come out and not looked good at all. So that would be the worst thing for me.
I'm curious as to why they only threw the ball 17 times.
They didn't really, outside of that one big 40-yard touchdown pass, they didn't get much separation from Notre Dame's corners. That's why.
But it's just, I don't know. It's strange that they only threw the ball 17 times. I'm curious to see what they did against Oregon in that game. He threw the ball 41 times in the Oregon game, so it's kind of strange. But anyways.
So best thing for me was this. Both of them are from the same game. Best thing was Texas. I'm not saying they're back, but they're looking good now. Quinn Ewers definitely shows that he's the engine that makes that team run. And if he was there, if he didn't get injured in the Alabama game, they probably win that game. They probably don't lose to Texas Tech and struggle in the other loss that they had, or in the other games without him. And then the other part is actually I'm going to go with not Oklahoma's offense, but their defense, just looking so bad. They've now given up, I think, 30 points in 3 consecutive games.
It's sad that not even Brett Venables can fix that defense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just bad. It's just bad all around.
He just needs some recruiting. He'll get there.
All right, I'll pull it up.
So as the title could suggest when he pulls this up, but you can already suggest JMU and Illinois are ranked. Let's go.
Yes.
I've been me and Lucas have both been saying that Illinois and JMU need to be ranked. It's good to see them in the top 25.
But the worst part is that JMU because they moved up this year, they can't go to a bowl. I don't think.
Which is stupid. I think it's a 2-year rule, if I'm not mistaken. That
I just don't understand why they do that.
I think it's stupid, and because of that, JMU not being able to play, it most likely means that a 5-7 team is going to get to go to a bowl game over JMU.
VT somehow they'll be 5-7. They'll make it.
But no, like.
So wait, Illinois they're in the East? No, they're in the West, right? Are they in the West?
They are. Yeah, I think so.
Wisconsin, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Do you think they win the West?
With how the West is looking,
they should. If they don't, then it's because they.
I don't think Phil, give your thought. You're the Big Ten Michigan expert.
Well,
what do you think?
Yeah, Ryan argued me down in my DMs on Twitter. I just don't think they're that good. I think the West is so bad that they can win it. They probably are the favorites, and rightfully so. But I still think, man, you know what? They've beaten Minnesota, right?
No, they play Minnesota this week.
Yeah, so I think that game probably determines who wins the West.
That's fair to assume.
I mean, the thing with them is, like, I've just been impressed with Chase Brown. Chase Brown might be easily the second best running back in the Big Ten behind Blake Corum, but it's really close. Chase Brown still leads the entire country in rushing, and he is literally carrying this Illinois team to wins. I mean, Iowa has a really good defense. I think they have one of the top 5 rushing defenses in the country, and Chase Brown still kept his 7 straight games of over 100 yards alive, which leads the country. I think they're legit, but I think that to just kind of prove that they deserve to be ranked where they are, they have to beat Minnesota this week.
Crazy stat about Illinois. They're tied for the worst points scoring offense in the country at 26 points per game, but they are first in points against.
Their defense.
They have the worst. Do you mean they have one of the worst scoring offenses?
Yeah. So they average 26 points a game, which is tied for 156, and then they just have the number 1 points against defense in the country at 8
Their
points.
Their defense is really good. They held Wisconsin to 2 rushing yards. I know Wisconsin is terrible, but usually they can run on anybody, and they held. So, but
they've only allowed 19 points the last 4 weeks.
And who have they played in those games? Wisconsin,
Wisconsin, UVA, Iowa, and Chattanooga.
I mean, they gave up 23 to Indiana.
They did give up 23 to Indiana. That's like the random one in the middle.
Yeah, it's a random loss that's just kind of funny. Yeah,
it doesn't.
Because
Well,
they
if you actually go
smacked
back and watch that
Wyoming.
game, Illinois should have won that game.
They more lost it than Indiana.
Yeah,
won.
they gave that game away to Indiana. But
Are we sleeping on Purdue too much? That's the question I have.
well, if you think about it,
It's just like I don't know what to think. Like we have the
listen
meme
here.
obviously of them, but
Purdue has 2 losses.
Mhm.
Their first loss came to Penn State
By
which was
4.
by 4. Their other loss came on a late touchdown with 9 seconds left against Syracuse
By 3.
by 3. So their record is
so
very
they've lost to
deceiving.
2 ranked teams, 10 and 18.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
Purdue is one of those teams.
Syracuse moved up. Is that am I right in
Yeah,
saying
they moved
that
up.
Syracuse moved?
Yeah.
They moved up for being idle. That's
Yeah.
because all the teams behind or some teams above them lost.
Purdue
thing
has a
with
really
Purdue-
manageable schedule coming up too. Their toughest game coming up is Illinois, which is in November. But other than that, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Northwestern, Indiana. Like Purdue
They
could.
should win those 3 straight, but I would not be surprised if that doesn't actually happen. They should. Their team is better than those 3: Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Iowa.
But do you guys have any issues with the poll? I mean, any teams you think should be ranked, shouldn't be ranked?
I mean, I think we've spoke about it last week too. Like, I'm still not sure that Penn State should be at number 10.
I'm
They
not sold
are
on them either.
undefeated. I get it, but
I think UCLA would blow them out.
look at the teams they play.
UCLA and Oregon would blow
Purdue,
them out.
which we talked about it. Purdue could be a good team, but then Iowa, Auburn, who's terrible, Central Michigan, Northwestern by 10 last week, and then this week they play Michigan. Now, good win for Michigan. I think they're going to absolutely destroy the Nittany Lions.
Wait,
But-
is it at Michigan though?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Okay, so is that Michigan? Yeah, I'll take Michigan. Even though that'll be in the Piggins, I'll probably take Michigan.
If it was at Penn State, I might.
I think Michigan could still win that, but I'd give
But it's a
Penn State
morning
more of a
game.
chance. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it couldn't be the night. Like if it was like at night at Penn State for the whiteout game, then I could see.
But I do think honestly, I think offensively, I think pretty much the UCLA through Wake Forest are better than Penn State, and just have better.
I would
They're
take
just better, in my
Kansas.
opinion.
I would take Kansas and Mississippi State over Penn State.
I think Mississippi.
I don't know
State
about
and
Kansas.
I think Mississippi State would blow them. I think pretty much every team from UCLA to maybe Mississippi State probably could beat Penn State, besides NC State. But I think the other teams all have such good offenses that Penn State would not be able to keep up offensively with them.
The other issue I have with
What were you going to say, Phil?
yeah,
Oh
go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. Go finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Well, my only issue is just how the AP poll works with the I hate saying SEC biased because that's such a it's a Ryan thing to say. So I hate saying
There is
SEC
SEC bias. Don't act like it's not.
No, but it is. You can see it clear as day right here because Tennessee beat the number 25 team in the country and USC beat the number 26 team in the country. Yet Tennessee, that was enough to put Tennessee over USC this week just to make
I think it
look
was
better
more of the
for
fact that
SEC
Tennessee
game between
completely
Bama and
dogged.
Tennessee.
I think it was more the fact Tennessee completely dogged LSU.
Yeah, it was 40-13 compared to 30-14. But
I-
Was
still,
that
I
at
still think-
LSU?
At LSU, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you could put him over. I just think it's a little
Do you
bit
guys-
of a,
do you guys have
a
any-
bias there?
Do you guys have any issue or do you think it's okay that Bama dropped 2 spots for barely beating Texas A&M at home? Because Georgia dropped 1 when they barely beat Missouri at Missouri, but then Bama
Right.
drops 2 for
The
only-
barely
my only
beating
issue
Texas
is that-
A&M.
Right now,
I mean-
I would have Ohio State as the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, these
Yeah, but Ohio State
cowards
won.
don't want to put Ohio State there.
I think I would have the other state at number 1 as well.
He's not going to say it. He's not going to say
Yeah.
the team.
But I do have a problem. I don't think Clemson should have jumped us. But I am biased. I'll admit that. I think I don't have a problem with Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama in that order. But I do think Ohio State should be number one, and Alabama has played like the third best team in the country this year.
Yeah, and I think Georgia was at 2, right? They were at 2. So then Bama just dropped right behind Ohio State, and they just moved up 1. But yeah, I think Ohio State's just been looking so good, and they haven't had the same issue that Georgia and Bama have had. We've had close games or upsets thus far.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be. Until that happens to Ohio State, which I'm sure there'll be a game that could potentially happen.
Right now, I just think Ohio
every
State
team at least once a year.
I just think Ohio State's the most complete team, and I think they're the best team in college football, and I don't think it's really close right now. I mean, Ohio State has dominated every team they played with the exception of Notre Dame, and Notre Dame is looking like a better win week by week at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ohio State has looked like the number one team in the country. They dominate who they're supposed to. They haven't struggled with anybody. Like Alabama and Georgia struggled with Kent State, Texas, Missouri, Texas A&M now. With I understand not having Bryce Young, but still, I just think Ohio State right now should be the number one team in the country, and I think they should be the national championship favorites.
I do want to just really quickly, although I agree with you that Ohio State looks like the best team in the country, and I think they should be number one. And I just said Ohio State, which I'm going to pinch myself later for. However, I do also want to point out that both Georgia and Alabama have played significantly better teams as far as talent goes, right? Like other than Notre Dame. They did kick off the season.
Because Georgia and Bama have played at least one ranked team.
No, Georgia beat Oregon. So yeah, Georgia has.
They beat Oregon.
Yeah,
they
killed Oregon.
Bama beat a now ranked 22nd ranked Texas, but barely. Meanwhile, I don't think Ohio State's played a single ranked team. They won't.
Well,
I don't know if it.
Well, yeah, because Notre Dame is no longer ranked.
Well, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And
also.
Yeah, the schedule is really bad. Michigan State was supposed to be better than they are. They are not. They're a joke. Rutgers is JV Big Ten. Wisconsin just fired their coach. Toledo is Toledo, and Arkansas State. So I do think the other state, is the best team in the country. But I don't want to give them
What's their upcoming schedule look like? Do you have it right there? I'm guessing.
Yeah, they've got Iowa next, it looks like, in 2 weeks because they're off this week. And then Penn State and Northwestern.
Is Penn State at home or at Penn State?
It's at Penn State.
So that's going to
be probably be a whiteout.
That'll be the whiteout. Okay, if Penn State, regardless of how your game against Michigan goes, if Penn State obviously will probably stay ranked even if they lose. So that would be a good challenge right there. And if they do pull the upset, then that would be a bigger game going forward. But so that'd be a good chance right there.
Wait,
so let's go. Oh, go
I
ahead.
want to point out too, a little bit more SEC bias here. I don't think Kentucky should be ranked.
I don't either.
They should not.
I don't either.
So I don't understand why they dropped
the only
BYU out of the top 25, but then they kept Kentucky in here when they could have easily.
What are the other teams at 25 through like 28, 25 through like 30?
They could have easily put in North Carolina, Baylor, Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is undefeated still. And
I'd rather see Coastal Carolina. I'd rather see Illinois.
Now,
Give me Illinois, JMU, and
Who lost Notre Dame?
Yeah, Notre Dame.
Or even Notre Dame.
I would be fine with a 2-loss Notre Dame with how they've been looking at least.
So right now, if we're going based on votes,
BYU dropped out. I just noticed that. Yeah.
Based on votes, number 26 would be North Carolina, number 27 Baylor, 28 would be Coastal Carolina, BYU would be 29, and 30 would be Notre Dame, which is weird because Notre Dame just beat BYU.
I'd be fine with a 5-1 North Carolina at 23. 5-1,
The stuff I seen,
the
though,
defense
the
is really
only
bad,
reason
but
Kentucky would still ranked is because a couple voters said it's because they're ranking Kentucky based on if Will Levis is their quarterback, which he didn't play against South Carolina. So they still think Kentucky's a top 25 team with Will Levis. That's why they kept them
I can
in
get
there.
behind that, but I also
I mean, I can
don't
understand.
think-
That's somewhat of an understandable logic, I guess.
I just don't like
God,
how
there's-
it's not it changes all the time with these voters, right? Like
Yeah.
ranking them based on if Will Levis is there, like, okay, but he wasn't and they lost. And they just moved the goalpost too much for me. Because if that's the case, then just make it be that way. That, the key players are missing, then we're ranking them based off of this key
If we're
player.
going based off if Bryce Young is with Alabama, maybe they should be number 1 or number 2.
Right.
So, I mean,
Okay, let's move on. We are back
let's
to
go ahead and so for this contenders and pretenders, we're going to go from
15.
15 to 1, and you're just going to say contenders or pretenders.
Okay.
We don't want to go too much into why. Just if you think they're a legit contender, if they are, whether for the CFP or
just for their conference.
Okay.
Right.
So NC State.
Take off the banner so my face.
I got
isn't covered.
I got it.
All right.
All right,
Ryan, I got it. I'm the one.
We can just go bottom to top. I'll start. NC State. I'm gonna say not a contender for CFP and also not a contender for the SEC or the ACC.
So pretender.
Yep, pretender.
All right. Phil?
I'm gonna say that they are a pretender.
Okay. I'm going to go pretender as well.
I'll go pretender. I've been saying, I've not been high on them at all this entire season. And they play at Syracuse. So I guess even though
they're fourth in the Atlantic right now.
It says third here. I just don't know what to think. With Syracuse, they play Syracuse this week, so I have no idea what to think on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, I'm gonna say after losing to Clemson, I'm gonna say pretender in both the CFP and the ACC.
I'm gonna agree for the same reason with North Carolina State. They both lost to Clemson. They have to be a pretender.
All right. I'm going to say contender. I think that they have a chance at the ACC. I think they're a pretender in terms of the college football playoff, but if Clemson slips up twice, which they would need to happen, which is probably not likely, but still could happen, Wake Forest is definitely, I think they're the second best team in the ACC.
Ryan, if Andrew was here, he'd be shaking your head. He'd be cutting you off, saying that's not going to happen. So I'm going to say pretender. But we do get Wake Forest at NC State on November 5th in 4 weeks' time. So that'll be a good, or 3 or 4 weeks. So that'll be a pretty good game, I think. Okay, TCU.
I'm going to say contender for the Big 12, but pretender for the college football playoff. But that was a hard one for me because I think they could. It's possible that they could win the rest of their games
if they beat Oklahoma State. If they beat Oklahoma State, that says a lot.
Maybe, I don't know. But I'm gonna say pretender for the CFP for now, but contender for the Big 12 title.
I'm actually going to say contender for both because if they run the table, that means they would have beaten Oklahoma State and they would have beaten Texas, who looks phenomenal with Quinn Ewers. And that should be enough. And they win the Big 12. The Big 12 winner this year looks pretty strong. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
They play Kansas State as well.
Yeah. So they've got a gauntlet, but contender until they lose.
I'm going to say contender for the Big 12. But I'm going to hold off on saying contender for the CFP until at least after this weekend. But I definitely think if they beat Oklahoma State, I could definitely see them as a contender for the CFP.
Yeah, I think it's a clean sweep. We all think they're probably contenders for the Big 12 at the very least. And, if they beat Oklahoma State and make the championship, then that puts them in pretty good position to make the playoff. But like I said, we'll hold off until they play Oklahoma State. Is that game at TCU or at Oklahoma
It's at
State?
TCU.
TCU, yeah.
Oh, TCU.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
They play Oklahoma State at home, and they play Kansas State the next week at home.
Ooh.
Oh, that really plays in their favor right there. That's really good for TCU. Okay, Oregon. So we're gonna go. We'll go top down since we'll get to Lucas last for Oregon. Is that okay?
Yep.
So
Okay.
Oregon, I think potential contender for the Pac-12. Obviously, have UCLA and USC in front of them. Do they play both? Do they play either of those teams?
They play
They play
UCLA,
UCLA.
next week.
Yeah.
Is it at UCLA?
No.
Okay.
It's in Eugene.
Okay. I think 2 losses just makes them, they have 2 losses, right?
No,
That one, right?
Oh, 1. Never mind. I thought they already had 2 losses. I'm going to hold off from saying they're a playoff contender for now, but I'll say Pac-12 contender.
I'm going to say the same thing. Pac-12 contender. Let's hold off on the on the CFP contender for now.
All right. You're going to hate me. I know you're an Oregon fan at the bottom. I think they're a contender for the Pac-12. However, I don't think a one-loss Pac-12 team this year is going to make the CFP.
That's fair.
It's kind of how it's gone pretty much. That's pretty much how it's gone pretty much since like 2017, since Washington last made the playoffs.
Which I don't understand. Like, I guess outside of this year, I understand why people don't love the Pac-12. But at least this year, top to bottom, the Pac-12 might be one of the top 2 conferences right now, just based on production. I mean, Oregon State's really good. Utah's really good. USC, UCLA, Oregon, Arizona is a team that's sneaky and is pretty good. Even Cal is a lot improved than what they were. Washington State as well. I mean, the Pac-12, it's almost like they're losing USC and UCLA, and everybody else just instantly started stepping up their game. So
because they know that their chance to do better, it improves. Obviously, make the playoff is better once those teams leave. Obviously,
yeah, they're trying they're trying to make sure the Pac-12 doesn't fold.
Yeah, I think they're trying to prove that they can compete. If it was just UCLA and USC this year and Oregon and no other teams were competing, or Oregon and Utah were out of it, then everyone would be like, oh, look, the Pac-12 is just totally top-heavy game being carried by these 2 teams. It's not worth keeping the conference around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for this, I'm going to wait on playoff contender until next week. And we'll obviously get into UCLA straight after. But after that game, we'll have a better idea on how good Oregon is or how good UCLA is. With UCLA is playing their 3rd straight ranked game because they have a bye week this week. So 3rd straight ranked game, beating Washington, Utah, and then playing against Oregon. Oregon has won 26 straight games at home, so I don't see it happening. But definitely contender in the Pac-12. They're 3rd right now. I think I disagree. I think a one-loss Pac-12 team that is Oregon makes it in, because they would have run the table completely in the Pac-12 with their one loss being to Georgia week 1. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I think if USC loses this week, then runs the table, I don't see them making it in. And same thing for UCLA, just because they're losing to a conference team. With Oregon losing week 1, and especially against Georgia, a team that's likely going to be in the in the college football playoff. I think that's the biggest difference. So for now, as an Oregon fan and with how we've been doing, I'm gonna say contender in both.
All right,
Okay.
UCLA.
UCLA, I kind of spoke about it. I mean, they're undefeated. If they run the table, which they still have a lot of tough games ahead of them with Oregon. Obviously, Arizona State, who just beat Washington, Arizona, who has a really good team, and then USC, Cal, the teams you spoke about. They got a lot of tough games ahead of them. I'm going to say Pac-12 contender. Again, we got to wait until next week to see if either of these teams are playoff contenders.
I'm going to call UCLA a contender in the Pac-12 for sure. And I'm going to call them a contender for the CFP pending Oregon, the game against Oregon.
Okay. I'm going to go the same thing, kind of what Lucas said. Just contender for the Pac-12, hold off until at least next week to call them contenders for the CFP.
I think we're all on the same page there. Oh, Lucas just disappeared, but yeah.
Sorry.
I think honestly, really, I'm going to probably hold off on both CFP and Pac-12 for both Oregon and UCLA until next week. Whoever, even if UCLA or whoever, even if UCLA loses, if it's a close game, then that might give them a chance. But obviously, that kind of knocks them out. But we'll see. Okay, Penn State.
Penn State, I'm going to say pretender in both the conference and the CFP, just because, they're in the East, and the East has Ohio State and Michigan. Those are two losses I'm seeing already right there. So that pretty much eliminates them from both.
I'm going to agree with Lucas. I think they're a pretender for the same reasons that he gave. They are just the third best team in the East right now.
All right, yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. I think they're pretenders in both. I'm not buying Penn State.
Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, I think they're just. I think honestly, the fact that I think Sean Clifford is just holding them back offensively. They're not very good offensively, in my opinion. And I just don't think they have the firepower to keep up with Michigan or Ohio State. And so, definitely a pretender. I honestly think they're only ranked that high to try and give Ohio State and Michigan better wins for going forward.
Right.
That's the only reason why I think Syracuse is also ranked is because they're playing NC State they're either playing NC State or Clemson this week and trying to make Clemson's schedule look better. You know what I mean? But they're just trying to make the games better for the committee and so on and so forth. Also, I think Syracuse has a ridiculously tough schedule the rest of the season, if I remember correctly. I think every single team they play is ranked the rest of the season.
I just saw the comments. Josh, you're a hater. Saying Oregon's a pretender. You're a hater.
Okay, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss for me, I have contender in both. I know they came in and had a really close game against Tulsa a few weeks back that didn't look good on their resume at all, but they pulled it off against Kentucky, got that big win, and you can't argue that Will Levis wasn't in that game because he played the entire game.
He just played like doo-doo.
With his finger looking disgusting.
And then they blew out Vanderbilt. They struggled against Vanderbilt for a minute there. I was a little worried. I was a little worried, but then they came out and blew them out at the end. The next toughest game is obviously against Alabama. That's a home game for Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin, I think he pulls it off, and if they beat Bama there, they're going to the SEC title.
What if Bama loses to Tennessee this week?
Which I cough think they will.
You're ruining the pick'ems. You're ruining the pick'ems, Lucas.
Dude, I just put on order. I'll get it on Saturday. My Tennessee Vols sweatshirt.
I mean, you are.
No,
I mean,
man,
you have been loving the hooker that Hendon's been getting.
No,
I
man,
do love the
Lucas, you gotta get a shirt that has a picture of Hendon Hooker and say it's my favorite hooker.
I know.
You really-
but I
you
had
really
I had
do,
to get the
honestly.
balls. I had to get the balls hoodie, and I will say for our boy Phil, I will be getting a Michigan hoodie here soon.
Oh,
Because
man.
He
They all
was
know.
riding Michigan
They all know.
all last year.
Burn
They
it.
all know. I
Burn
was
it.
riding Michigan. I was riding Michigan all season last year. At the beginning of the year, I said they would win the Big Ten. I said they were the best
I
team in the
remember
Big Ten.
correctly, Lucas.
They all
we laughed at
trashed
you.
me.
We
They
laughed at
trashed
you.
me. They laughed at me, and look what the Big Blue did. I'm telling you, I knew it.
Absolutely.
So, but anyways, yeah.
And then
I think
unfortunately,
Ole Miss is
Michigan
a
kind of
contender.
did what the Big Ten has done.
And I also
against
remember.
Ohio State.
I
They immediately
vividly
shit the
remember.
bed. So
I vividly remember we were sitting here when Michigan. It was the week of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Me, Connor, and Andrew all took Ohio State big.
because we had all taken Michigan State, and he was the only one to take Michigan.
I don't think I ever.
Oh, man.
I took Michigan all year. I never
Yeah,
picked
and I
against
just
them.
remember. I vividly remember Andrew going, Lucas. I swear to God, if Michigan beats Ohio State, I'm chopping your balls off.
And then he put that in the chat as the game was going on too.
Wow.
Didn't he also say that for another game that you said was
Yeah,
on
he
the
said it
awesome.
It was the
because
Texas
because I
Oklahoma.
predicted that Oklahoma would come back against Texas last year. And
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
down
21-0, and then
Brutal.
and literally he puts as they're up 21 as Texas up 21-0. He's like, Oklahoma's gonna come back, and Ryan's like, Costa's like, I'm gonna chop your balls off. That happens, and he's like, I'm gonna come and get you for them.
That's amazing.
He deserves it. But anyways, yeah, Ole Miss, I think they could honestly run the table. They have Mississippi State at the end of the year, which is a big circle for the schedule, but I think they beat Bama. I mean, Bama looks super vulnerable. I think they could lose at least 2 games this year.
So let's try to speed it up a little bit because we are going a little over. But go ahead.
Okay.
Phil.
I'm gonna say they are a pretender in both, because the SEC West belongs to Alabama until someone takes it from them, and no one has, other than LSU in 2019. I think they end up with 3 losses before the season's over.
All right. Ole Miss to me is a contender for both. Just kind of reiterating what Lucas said.
I'm gonna say pretender for both.
Okay.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, I'm gonna say contender for both, and the sad thing is that I think they're gonna be one of those playoff teams. If they go undefeated, they're gonna be one of those playoff teams that absolutely get ran out of their house.
Yeah,
Which is sad.
Well, they're going to be.
They're just gonna be following Oklahoma's footsteps from every time they've been.
So
in the playoffs.
basically, Lucas, what you're saying is they're going to be the Notre Dame, the Florida States, the Michigan States.
Oh my God, their schedule.
That Michigan State loss
right.
is horrible.
I'm changing this. I think they're a pretender for both, and it's because of their
see that
next coming
schedule?
schedule.
Oh, my
TCU, Texas, Kansas State, TCU, Texas, Kansas State, Kansas, Iowa State, Oklahoma, West Virginia. They should win those last 3. Their next 4 games are ranked. Their next 4 games are ranked opponents.
And I'm guessing the Oklahoma State, Texas, or Kansas game is at Kansas.
Yes, they're on the road for 3 of those 4.
Yeah,
They're on the road for 3 of the next 4 games. Oh damn. Oh geez.
Yeah, they're a pretender.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pretender.
I mean, I was gonna
They
say
might lose
pretender as
3 of
well,
those.
but like, I mean, the funny thing is like, and I think it's kind of funny how we're saying TCU is a contender, and then Oklahoma State isn't, but that's because TCU is getting all the tough games at home. They're getting
Exactly.
Oklahoma State. They're getting Kansas State at home. They're going to take it.
Their hardest game that was on the schedule that was an away game was the Kansas game.
Yeah.
So,
which no one thought that was going to be a tough game at all, and I don't think they don't have any more tough games on the road. I don't think TCU. So yeah.
They play Texas, right? TCU? Is that at home too?
That's on the road.
Oh, that's on the
It's on the
road.
road. It's on the road.
Max Duggan versus Quinn Ewers. Ooh. No. Oklahoma State to me is pretender. They're easily pretenders for me. I have always been dogging on Oklahoma State.
You're
the
still
last 2
mad
years.
about 28-7.
I am, man. I am. But it was the new 28-3, man. But anyway, yeah, they're pretenders.
Yeah, the pretenders. Yeah, that schedule is just rough.
USC, Lucas. I'm sure you would love to talk about them. The team
Yeah,
that
let
we
me
keep
start
thinking
with
is going to
USC.
lose.
Let me start with the USC team that's going to end with 3 losses. So their schedule looks favorable. Like after this, so they play Utah at Utah, which is a really tough place to play. Trust me, I know. And then they play Arizona, Cal, Colorado, easy games. But then they got UCLA and then Notre Dame. I think they lose 3 of those games, whether how it happens. So pretender all around. I mean, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen.
Holy crap! Lucas is saying Notre Dame's going to beat USC.
I mean, how Notre Dame's been playing, I could see it. I mean, it's a rivalry game. They're going to play them. They're both going to play tough. Lincoln Riley doesn't know what it's like to play against Notre Dame and that rivalry between them and USC. I think Notre Dame could go out there and smack them in the mouth.
Plus USC isn't well known as
I will say,
good home field advantage.
You know, Caleb Williams. So think about it this way: Notre Dame has played 2 of the top 20 quarterbacks in college football, Jaron Hall and C.J. Stroud, both of whom they held to well below their season average in passing yards. So I think we held C.J. Stroud to under 200 yards passing, and we held Jaron Hall to under 150. So, I mean, Caleb Williams is going to have it tough, man.
But anyways, yeah, I'm saying because I think they lose to Utah this week, I'm ruining the pick'ems again. I think they lose to Utah this week, and I think they lose to UCLA. I think they're going to be a pretender in both the Pac-12 and the college football playoff.
So what exactly makes you say? I mean, obviously you're kind of holding off UCLA and Oregon, but why are you taking UCLA or Oregon over beyond the homerness for Oregon over USC? Really?
Because I think if UCLA beats Oregon this week, they're going to run the table and go to the college football playoff at the end of the day. Like, I just don't see them losing again. And then the thing with Oregon is
Oregon's looked a lot better.
And with USC, like, I know that they played Washington State better than Oregon did, but it was at home. It was just their schedule has been super favorable so far this season, and this is where it's going to start maybe getting a little bit tougher. They got to play at UCLA and at Utah, at Arizona, which hopefully is a night game. Pac-12 after dark in the desert is always hard. So I don't know. I think with how they played against Oregon State and Oregon State beating Stanford by 1, I know football math doesn't work, but I mean – come on, they gotta lose. They have to. I hate the Trojans so much. They have to.
I don't know who hates the Trojans more, me or Lucas.
I don't know, but
so Lucas, So what you're predicting is the Trojan is about to break.
It's gonna break. Yeah, it's gonna break.
You guys need that sound effect.
It already has a couple holes in it.
These are RG3isms.
RG3isms. Yeah, I like that. What is this?
Okay, let's go. So we really.
I think they are a contender in both. Just as much as UCLA and Oregon. I mean, yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, I'm the same thing. USC's pretender for everything.
I guess I'll go with that. I have no idea. Tennessee, we got to really wrap this up. We're taking way too long on this.
Tennessee's going to the college football playoff.
Give me Hendon Hooker. Give me my. I love my hooker.
Give me contender for Tennessee. Michigan.
Oh,
Contender.
I'm going contender for the second straight year.
All right, I'm. You guys are gonna hate me, pretender.
Pretender only until they play Ohio State, especially since they're at Ohio State.
The thing is, if Michigan, you know how big of a deal that would be if Michigan could get the monkey off its back that is Ohio State 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, it's over.
Well, especially
it's
over.
over.
That's kind of when you think about it, like that's kind of how it's been. Like Ohio State, Michigan State, they kind of wrote. Like I know it seems like it isn't that way, but they kind of rotate dominating the series for periods of time. You know what I mean? It's just cyclical. So maybe this is the time when Michigan.
So Ohio State will go 12 years. Ohio State will go 12 years without beating Michigan.
No, that probably won't happen. They recruit
That's probably not that long. I love how even he admits it's probably not going to be that long.
All right, Clemson.
Clemson contender because their conference is terrible.
Contender because, contenders.
Contender for the ACC, pretender for the playoff until I'm gonna wait until I think they play Syracuse. I'm gonna wait till the Syracuse and Notre Dame game happen, just because I think if Notre Dame beats them, then they're definitely out of the college football playoff race. But
Josh jumped way ahead of us. He's just giving us everything.
I think we can agree that the top two are contenders for both, but I'm going to say that Alabama is a pretender in the college football playoff. Like I said before, I think Alabama has too many holes, and we've seen them throughout games this year that I think they could easily end up losing 2 games. I mean, they play Tennessee at Tennessee. They play Mississippi State at home. LSU at LSU, which is always a tough game. I don't care how good LSU is.
they blew out LSU last year.
I don't care. Like anything can happen. But of course, BK's record against Alabama is not always good. Ole Miss, they play Ole Miss at Ole Miss. Like I just see them losing 2 games. I see it. So pretender for Bama.
All right.
I think the top 3 are all contenders.
I think Bama's a pretender. I'll join you on that train, Lucas.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Finally, we're done. I guess we can quickly. I don't know which. Should we just talk about any of these games?
Just
We've talked about enough of games. I think we should
let's
just
just go straight.
Stunners and bummers.
Let's just do that. So, Phil, did Ryan kind of explain to you what this is about?
I caught you guys' show last week. I kind of understand it.
Yeah, it's just like our top. So Stunner, these are our top players and our coaches. Really, that's what most of the time we do. Most of the time we're doing players, and then we do teams after that. So Lucas, why don't you? I'll remove that so we can see your beautiful face.
Are we just gonna go one after the other?
Yeah, we'll just go. So Lucas, give your bummer, and then we'll just kind of go counterclockwise. We'll go Lucas, Phil, Ryan, and me.
We'll start with our stunners.
Stunners. Sorry, excuse me.
I'm going to butcher this guy's name, but it's the quarterback for San Jose State, Chevin Cordero, something like that. I don't know. He went 18 for 27, 230 passing yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, 14 carries for 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Had a really good game. San Jose State, watch out for them boys. I think they're 5-1 right now.
Really?
They're actually having a good season.
They were terrible last year, weren't they? Weren't they terrible last year?
They were bad last year.
I don't think I paid enough attention.
Hey, you know what though? So I had that game on the Pick'ems. We all took UNLV in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I told you the only reason San Jose was favored is because they have one of the top scoring offenses in all of college football.
Their only loss was 8 points to Auburn at Auburn. So watch out for San Jose State.
Honestly, if they played again now, I'd probably take San Jose State how bad Auburn is.
All right.
I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson, 22 carries, I think, over 100, and I think he had actually 130 yards, right at like 6 yards a carry, couple touchdowns. I'll take him.
Okay.
All right, so my stunner of the week, I've kind of got two because I wanted to put the two guys in there. So for my main stunner, I'm going to put Jason Bean, the backup quarterback for Kansas, comes in and throws for over 200, almost 300 yards passing, 4 tutties, 1 interception. We can kind of, with the whole Lance Leipold making up the injury with Jalon Daniels that he's out for the year, seems like Lance Leipold wants Bean to be their new starting quarterback. But anyway, Jason Bean, for a guy that, is a backup, to come in for a Heisman caliber quarterback and play better, and throw 4 touchdown passes and start throwing dots against TCU, that's impressive. My second kind of honorable mention, kind of a homer pick, Drew Pine, almost 300 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes and 1 interception that wasn't his fault. It was just tipped up in the air and picked off. He's starting to come into his own, and just really impressive. So,
Okay, cool. So I have 2. I have Quinn Ewers. He was 21 of 31 for 289 yards, 4 TDs, 1 interception. And then one that really hurts me, I have Israel Abanikanda, he had 36 rushes for 320 yards, 6 touchdowns, and a long of 80 against Virginia Tech.
oh,
Holy.
Yeah. So I guess
he had so many touchdowns. I didn't have enough time in the best of week 6 video to put all of them in. If that tells you anything.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is, I went back and looked at all of his runs. So he had 36 rushes, like I said. Half of those rushes, he had 5 yards or less. And of those 18, 9 of them, he got no yards or lost yardage. So when he was met at the line of scrimmage, VT was getting pressure and was getting pushed on the line of scrimmage. But anytime he got past them and got to the second level, he was breaking it because the second.
He is fast. He is fast.
They couldn't. Once he got past the line of scrimmage, or pretty much, they were stopping it. They couldn't stop him. So I don't know what to. There was one touchdown where the linebacker had him and started and was like rolling, and for some reason I guess he thought Abanikanda was going to fall with him, and he let go, and Abanikanda just ran in for like 20 yards for a touchdown. So really, you could say half of his attempts, but the majority of his yards came on half of his attempts, really. So he was actually being held for some period of time. And then
he's trying to think of something to like make VT not look so bad right now.
No, I'm not. It's not even actually that. If anything, it makes him look better. It actually makes him look better because that means he had an average of nearly 9 yards per carry, 18 or 8.9. So that really means if you take out those 18 where he got 5 yards or less, that's a lot better yardage per carry. You know what I mean? So it makes him look better. Sure, I'm trying to find some solace, but
trying to find something. I'm gonna skip past your VT and go straight to my bummer.
Okay. actually, that should have been my bummer. Honestly,
all of Virginia Tech bummer. No, my bummer of the week was actually 5 different guys, and it was all 5 of the guys that threw a pass for Oklahoma this last weekend.
Oh God!
They went a total of 9 for 17, 39 yards, and 2 interceptions. 2 of those guys were quarterbacks, 2 were running backs, and 1 was a punter.
A punter? Oh, they did a fake punt?
It was only a 3-yard fake punt, so.
Oh dear God! Right.
No. It was the fake field goal. It was the fake field goal for first.
Did they also try like a push? Did they also try like a push pass that was a running back or something?
Could have been.
Yeah, it was a push pass that got intercepted.
Davis Bevel was the starter for Oklahoma this week. He was 6 for 12, 38 yards, with an interception. Which, if you look at that means. The other guys were 3 for what is it, 3 for 5 with an interception, only 1 total yard passing. So, yeah, Oklahoma is down bad, man. They're down bad.
So,
Wow.
go ahead, Phil.
I'm going to keep it actually in the state of Oklahoma. I'm going to keep it in Norman too. The bummer is Brent Venables. There are people who are already calling for his job. He was brought there to fix the defense. He was outgained nearly 400 yards, and Texas had triple the amount of first downs as Oklahoma.
I seen something on the Oklahoma message boards that Oklahoma fans are saying he's the worst Power 5 head coach.
I saw that.
And they said
That's
somebody
incredible.
needs to get on the phone and call Lance Leipold from Kansas. But anyway, my bummers, it's kind of like what Lucas said, but instead of 5 quarterbacks, I'm going to go 2 quarterbacks from 2 Big Ten teams. Mr. Putrid Petrus from Iowa, who is the worst quarterback in the history of college football. So he had
history, though.
18 for 36, 49% completion percentage.
18 of 36 is exactly.
Or
50.
never mind, 50. My bad. For 170 yards and one interception. He had a QB rating of 84. And then Austin Sitkowski, the backup quarterback for Illinois, who came in because Tommy DeVito got injured early on in the game. This man, 13 for 19, 68% completion for 74 yards and 1 interception.
I don't know why, but Jesus Christ.
It doesn't
Terrible
sound that
quarterback.
bad until you see the score, which was 9-6.
Illinois only won 9-6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
The offenses
Isn't
were
this,
terrible.
Iowa's second 9-6 loss this year? Didn't they lose to Iowa State like 9-6?
No.
It was
It's their
10-9, wasn't it?
Oh, okay, all right.
Something like that.
Iowa also won a game 9-6.
Which game was worse, Ryan? Did you watch the Illinois game?
Yes, I did.
Which
I
was
wanted to
worse?
actually rip my eyes out.
Which was worse, watching that or the Broncos Colts game?
Oh,
God.
that was awful. That was putrid.
Oh.
Phil, what NFL team do you root for?
And I know Ryan's going to hate this. I'm a Raiders fan, and I know.
Hey,
We-
you guys are 1-4. I don't want to hear it.
We beat you, though.
That's true. That's true.
That's all he has to claim. That's all he needs to prove that his team is better than yours.
Should have beat the Chiefs, too, but choked it.
Yeah, man, it was awful. God awful.
All right, have
The
we
refs
done
kind
all
of
our
both
bummers?
screwed both teams.
I think
Okay,
it's Connor's turn.
okay. My bummer is not getting to see Jalon Daniels play the whole game versus TCU.
Yeah.
Once I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this game is going to be a blowout." So the fact they would keep it close is
What are your
good.
guys' thoughts on the whole injury situation? Leipold evidently told
and
people
Jalon's
that,
just like, "That's news to me." And I'm just like,
like he's
I
done
don't
for
think
the
anybody
year.
should ever. I don't think anybody should ever like post about injuries except for the player themselves. Like,
Well,
I
no,
just,
they
or
said
like,
think it's-
or a team doctor. Like
But
an
you don't
official.
think it looks bad on Leipold that
Oh, no, it looks
he's
terrible on him.
leaking information to reporters? The
Wait,
reporter says it.
has it been confirmed it was?
Yeah, it was Leipold.
Oh,
Leipold told this reporter, that Jalon Daniels is done for the season, and evidently Jalon Daniels is not injured. Like, he's injured, but like he's not going to be out the entire year.
I don't know. Sounds
Yeah.
like insider stuff. He could also just be saving his ass. Oh, this guy told me.
Yeah.
If Leipold did say that, though, that looks really bad on you as a head coach. I mean, to lie about something like that. But either way,
Maybe
go
he
ahead.
thought. Maybe he thought it was, and he just jumped the gun.
that's true. That could be it. Okay, surprise team.
Surprise team. My surprise team was it was actually Houston coming back in
Memphis
that game.
choked.
Yeah, against
I
Memphis.
think I saw something I think that's the first team this year to come back from 17 points or more and win this so far this season.
I don't doubt it. And I always forget their head coach's name. It's Dana Holgerson, right?
Yep.
That's Holgerson's there now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And
That's
so
funny.
I mean, his job was basically being called for after they lost that last game, which I can't remember
To
who
Tulane.
it was against. I'm trying to
Tulane.
It was Tulane.
Yep.
So after he lost that last game, they were calling for his job. So I'm kind of glad that he got this win, just for him and his mental health.
His mental health.
They had 26 fourth quarter points. Houston did. They were down 19-32 before scoring a touchdown with 1:17 left. Obviously got the onside kick, went down, scored another.
Hey, they scored more
getting
points than the
1
Broncos
point.
and the Colts all put together in a quarter.
In the fourth
Yes,
quarter.
he did.
In a quarter.
In the fourth quarter alone, yes. And they ended up getting the 33-32 win. Obviously,
On the road, too.
I think we all took
took Memphis
to win that game too, which was good. So nobody got hurt from that. Too bad in the pick'ems, but yeah, Houston, big comeback.
What's the segment? Oh,
surprise team of the week.
Surprise team of the week. I'm gonna go with who's that surprise? South Carolina. I just thought their season was over. They had nothing to play for. Spencer Rattler's a joke. And he proves to be a joke still. He still threw an interception. I just don't know. They beat Kentucky, and that was shocking to me because, like I said, I don't know what they're even playing for. Yeah,
Real Beamer Ball is back.
Beamer Ball, yes.
My surprise team of the week is going to be Georgia Tech. They are undefeated with their new coach, the interim.
Best coach in college football.
Yes, best coach in college.
Whatever his name is. I don't know what his name is.
I don't know his name either, but all I know is Georgia Tech's gotten 2 straight wins against Pittsburgh and Duke, who were both at the top of the Coastal. So, Georgia Tech looks like a completely different team. They really do.
I think that just shows how bad Jeff Collins was.
Yeah, he's actually letting Jeff Sims throw the football.
Exactly.
Which I didn't know that was a thing, man.
And he was throwing dimes too.
He was.
We didn't know that was allowed. We thought that was illegal. Jeff Sims couldn't throw the ball. How dare they? How dare they let Sims throw the ball?
But no, that's my surprise team of the week.
Okay, my surprise team, is actually VT's offense actually showing up as the defense and special teams failed. It's the team just can't put all 3 phases together. VT actually scores 39 points, and their offense actually looks somewhat competent. The special teams did get a block punt for a touchdown, but that was more because the punter dropped the ball and then proceeded to try and kick it away, and it got blocked. It wasn't because the special teams actually did anything. But then the defense failed. So the offense actually shown up. If VT had won, I probably would have chosen Caleb Smith as my stunner. He had like 10 catches for 156 yards and like a touchdown, I think, for Virginia Tech. So he was doing really, really well. As the best wide receiver for the team. So that's my surprise. And then let's go to meme team. Let's do this and let's get through the pick'ems real quick.
We don't have any actual memes this week, I don't think.
No, I don't think we did. We didn't make any memes.
Wait,
Because we didn't let you.
I have one meme.
My meme team of the week is the Utah Utes. And this is mostly a shot at Ryan for thinking that Utah was the best team in the Pac-12 when they're more likely the 4th best team in the Pac-12.
When I'm wrong.
They've only played 2 relevant teams this season, and that was, I guess you could say Florida's relevant just in college football terms, but they were ranked at the time. And so they lost to a ranked Florida team. No, Florida was not ranked at the time. Right. They still lost to Florida and lost to UCLA. UCLA kind of dominated them the whole time.
I guess Josh couldn't make the memes. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, UCLA pretty much dominated that game the whole time when they played. And so,
Showing
yeah,
how well
Utah.
put together our podcast is that we failed to not do anything for this segment.
It happens.
Yet
We got to
again.
have at least one thing.
Yeah, we gotta have one thing that does.
All right,
we
Phil.
gotta prove this is a shit
Meme
show.
team of the week, which is basically just like something you could clown on or something that's crazy in college football.
Oh man,
Oklahoma.
I don't know, man.
Oklahoma
You're putting me on the spot. Oklahoma is an easy one. Yeah, I'll just take them, man. Brad Venables in year one, not even halfway through the season, with his job on the line. I don't know.
Speaking of Oklahoma, this is my
Patrick said now available. That's awesome. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that used to be VT before VT because of how bad their offense is.
But yeah, Oklahoma was my main team as well, and I thought that was hilarious.
Okay, so mine is UVA because we all picked. I think didn't we all pick UVA to beat Louisville?
No, you took UVA to beat Louisville. Everybody else took Louisville.
Yeah.
I did. I did.
You took Virginia. You took Virginia, man.
Well, I mean, I will say they're a meme team because their offense is somehow I think ranked worse than VT's, which I don't think. I keep saying it I don't understand how it's possible with Brennan Armstrong, how good he is or looked last year. Now
he has nobody, man. He literally has. He has no O-line and no wide receivers to catch the ball.
That is true. Okay, finally we're to the pick'ems, an hour in, like usual. Because of that mistake and a few others, me and Lucas are now tied. I've lost my lead because I've been doing poorly. Lucas has been doing really great. Josh is 124 because we decided to give him 4 more because of those 8 teams that he missed. Ryan, I guess Josh must have sent you his picks.
Yeah, he sent me them.
Okay, cool. So and obviously we'll keep and of course we'll keep track of Phil because we've had all these guests, so we'll keep track of those pick'ems as we go along. So let's get through this real quick. Let's try and make this somewhat quicker instead of another hour-plus segment with all these games we have. Okay, Old Dominion at South Carolina, Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is 12.5-point favorite.
Yeah, Coastal in the points. 7-0, top 25.
I'm taking Old Dominion in the points.
Ooh,
Old Dominion.
Wait,
holy moly!
So are you taking Old Dominion in general?
Taking Old Dominion.
Oh no, I'm gonna take the point spread with Old Dominion. I think Coastal Carolina wins the game.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I see you.
I'm gonna go Coastal as well, but I would take Old Dominion in the points.
Give me Coastal by 50. Beat down Old Dominion. Make me feel better. Okay, UConn at Ball State. Ball State,
the best team in the state of Indiana.
All right, UConn
is very true.
The best team in the state of Indiana. I'm going to take. I didn't know that Ball State was a 9-point favorite in this one, but I'm going to take UConn, mostly just because their quarterback is an Oregon transfer.
I'm going to take UConn because I like Jim Mora.
Yes, that's also a good one.
I'm going to take Ball State, the Ball State, the best team in the state of Indiana.
I was going to take UConn because I thought I was going to be the only one to take UConn, and that was hopefully going to work out for me. Now I'll stick with UConn though, just because
that's my point up on you guys. That's my point.
Exactly. That's how I almost went to UConn for school. Okay, Nebraska at Purdue. Purdue is a 13.5-point favorite. So
I want Nebraska to win this just because of how crazy they can turn their season around, but based off of last week, I got to go Purdue. And 13.5 points at Purdue. Yeah, Purdue for sure.
You taking Purdue in the points? Or are you taking Nebraska?
I'm not. I think they could get the win by 7. I'm not saying 13.5 though.
I'm taking Nebraska outright.
Ooh,
Nebraska outright.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. I'm taking the Boilermakers.
Yeah, give me the Boilermakers, but I don't think they cover. I think that spread is way too big, in my opinion. Maryland at Indiana. Maryland is an 11.5-point favorite on the road.
I am going to take Maryland and the points in this. I think they have like kind of an offensive showing in this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Maryland and the points.
Okay. Yep, give me the Terps.
Yeah, give me the Terps. Sweep. Okay. Arkansas at BYU. This would have looked a lot better as a game about 4 weeks ago when they both were like ranked and in the top 15 or something. Arkansas is a 4.5.
Man, BYU is going through a gauntlet this season. I honestly kind of feel bad for the Mormons down there. I know they're all like 30-something years old, so they can take it. But I'm gonna say,
and the worst part is they can't get drunk to get through their pain.
They can't.
They can't even drink cut. They can't even drink caffeine, man.
I'm taking Arkansas on this one. I'm taking Arkansas, and then 4.5 point spread. Yeah, I'll take the points in that too. We'll win by like 10.
I think I'll take BYU just because I feel like Arkansas is kind of giving up on the season a little bit. But,
I think this game depends on if KJ Jefferson plays, which he didn't this past week. I'm assuming he doesn't because he re-injured his previous injury last week. So I'm going to take BYU.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm assuming the same thing. Arkansas goes where KJ Jefferson goes. If he was there, I feel like obviously they probably
Arkansas is what Arkansas was before KJ Jefferson without him.
Yes.
I fully expect to lose a point here.
Yeah, I'll take BYU. Western Kentucky at Middle Tennessee State. Western Kentucky is an 8-point favorite.
Middle Tennessee State hurt my feelings last week.
They got blown out by UAB.
So I'm going to take Western Kentucky in this one.
All right.
I'm going to take Middle Tennessee State because that receiver, the little guy, who is just like the fastest person on earth, apparently, he's exciting. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take them because of him.
So both of these teams are both so Middle Tennessee played UTSA tough a couple weeks ago. Western Kentucky just lost a 3-point game to UTSA. So football math is a thing. So give me Western Kentucky.
So wait, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. You guys all taking Western Kentucky?
No, so me and Lucas took Western Kentucky, and then Phil took Middle Tennessee.
I'll take Middle Tennessee. I'll split it.
Ooh.
Okay. Texas State at Troy. Jeez, 16.
Now, mind you, before we take our pick'ems, Texas State just dominated App State.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of App State all of a sudden now. Jeez.
I know that we got a Michigan fan on here, and he doesn't like hearing the name App State, but
no, I do not actually. Keep them far, far away from us.
Demons.
Right. Anything that dominated them though is good in my book. So I'll take Texas State.
I'm taking Troy. I don't know if they win by 17 though. I'm not going to take the points there.
16.5 at home.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm taking Troy. I'm still going to take Troy in this one.
All right, I'm going to take the Trojan that never breaks. Troy.
You stole that from me. I've been the one that's been saying that. I think I've taken Troy twice now. I think I've gotten them both right. So I'm going to keep going with Troy. So the Trojan that will never break and always supports you and make sure that you don't have kids that you don't want. So
it helps get rid of teenage pregnancy, man.
I trust Troy's Trojans more than USC's Trojans. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
No, man.
You don't want to trust those Trojans in LA, man.
I don't trust those LA Trojans either.
I definitely, especially in LA, I definitely don't trust USC Trojans.
Those USC Trojans are the ones that you get from like a gas station that's on the side of the road that just is ran by heroin addicts. That you just
whatever works.
What?
USC is in an unsavory neighborhood too.
Okay.
Yeah, it really is actually.
Okay. Wisconsin at Michigan State. Even if Michigan State was good, I guarantee you that you would not take Michigan State ever. Right, Phil?
I don't know who to take in this game. I'm gonna go with Wisconsin though because
I'm taking Wisco, But I mean,
Wisco.
toss up.
All right.
Uh,
I'm gonna go Wisconsin.
Give me the Fighting Jim Leonards. Former Ravens safety. Give me Wesco. I don't know why, but I like saying that now. Arizona at Washington.
Dude.
14.5-point favorites are the Fuskies. We're gonna huck the Fuskies.
I think the Fuskies are gonna win this game. I think it's close, and I think I really do think Arizona is in like they've
done really well. They've made that rebuild. They've done a really good rebuild.
They're on the cusp of being really good. And I actually listened to the press conference with their head coach, and like he sounds pretty like well spoken. Like he could get them there, I think. But Washington, they can't be like this team that is that good and then lose all these games. There's no way.
They just lost to the worst team in the Pac-12.
There's no way that Colorado.
Oh,
is the worst.
Arizona
Colorado's
State's
the worst team in college football.
Arizona State's
terrible.
right there, man.
I think Colorado is the only winless team in all of FBS now.
Yeah, and they won't win. But yeah, the Fuskies probably going to win this one.
Yeah, I'll take Washington.
Yep. I was really tempted to take Arizona to huck the Fuskies, but I think Michael Penix is too good to lose this game. So give me the Huskies.
I'll take Washington, but I think Arizona covers.
It's hard to play in Seattle too, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be a 2-touchdown.
You know, it's just funny how we overreact for like week 1 through 3 games, because after Washington obliterated Michigan State, everybody was so high on Washington, and now they're just
Washington got ranked, I think.
I know, yeah.
I'm taking the old Bayou
LSU.
Bengals, baby.
Oh no.
They're gonna get another dub in the win column, and I'm gonna be just closer to winning my bet. So I am taking
it's both of our bets. Remember, Lucas? It's both of our bets versus Ryan.
Yes. I'm taking the Fighting Brian Kellys in this one to beat Florida in the swamp.
So to explain for Phil, so me and Lucas and Connor have a bet. So the bet is, I said LSU at the beginning of the season, LSU would not be bowl eligible. So the bet is, if LSU goes bowl eligible, I have to buy a hat that says "I love Brian Kelly" and wear it. And then if they don't go bowl eligible, what was it for you guys? I think it was something about.
I don't know. It was probably
Lucas had to get a thing that says Notre Dame is elite. Like a shirt.
No, mine was the Mario Cristobal one.
It's good. I love it, Amari Cristobal, and I probably have to get one that says "I love Justin Fuente." Probably.
Yeah, that's how that works. Okay.
And then me and Lucas also have one that he says Oregon's not going to lose another game until the Pac-12 championship at the very least. So they're going to go. They're going to run in the game and go 11-1. And if that happens, I have to get an Old Dominion hat, and he has to get a Oregon State hat if they lose one more game.
Nice.
So we're having some cross bets about it.
I'm feeling it. Bayou Bengals.
Meanwhile, obviously, I don't believe in my team at all to make any sort of bets, other than the fact that I probably would bet that they're going to lose like 8 games. That's all I'd be willing to bet.
Wow.
All right. So Phil, who you got?
I'm gonna go with LSU.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
Pre-order that hat.
Give me. I know he doesn't want to be called that anymore, but he give me the Fighting AR-15s.
That sounds so bad.
They're gonna shoot up the
Be careful with what you're about to say, Ryan. Just be careful.
Okay, I'll take Florida, and here's the reason why. Even though I'm on that bet, if I get this right, then I get a point on Lucas. But if I'm wrong, then that just means that me and Lucas are one step closer to Ryan. So technically, it's kind of a win-win for me and Lucas. Or it's a win-win for me.
Who are you taking, Connor?
I'm taking Florida.
Oof. Yeah.
Okay. UNC at Duke. UNC is a 4-point favorite. If only Duke had a long-standing head coach that actually was really good and won some national championships, then this would be a good game in football.
Fun fact about me: my favorite college basketball team that isn't Oregon is North Carolina.
Mine too.
So I hate Duke. My best friend growing up grew up he's a huge Duke fan. So we've had this rivalry basically our whole lives. So I need my Tar Heels to get this dub today or tomorrow. Or no, wait, we're doing this Thursday now. Saturday.
I'm going to go with North Carolina as well. They are also my second favorite basketball team.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to go UNC as well. Drake May is unbelievable. So.
Yep, clean sweep. Give me UNC.
Drake May is a young Justin Herbert. I'm telling you right now, if you look at his face, he's a young Justin Herbert, 100%.
And yet Justin Herbert also still looks super young. So
yes.
Okay, Wazoo at Oregon State. Oregon State's a 3.5-point favorite. Oregon State's been – I mean, both of these teams are better than we all thought, I think.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm taking Washington State to win this. I know it's really tough to play a Reeser, but I'm taking Washington State.
And Corvallis.
It's at night as well in Corvallis.
Ooh, Corvallis.
Yeah, it's
really?
Pac-12 after dark game. After Oregon State and Stanford last week, like Stanford absolutely dotted up this defense. So I think
did Oregon State win though, or did they lose?
They won by 1 point. They had a game-winning touchdown with 13 seconds left.
Okay. So
but I think Cameron Ward could absolutely dot up this Oregon State defense and win this game.
Bill, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oregon State.
Okay.
All right. So both of these teams' quarterbacks have turnover issues. So I think it's just a matter of who throws the most picks. I trust Cameron Ward more than I do the Oregon State quarterback. So give me Wazoo.
I'll take Wazoo as well. I do like Ward.
I feel like you're disrespecting Cameron Ward a little bit. I need to look at his stats.
I think there was something about he leads the Pac-12 in interceptions.
Ooh, yeah, 7 picks.
Yeah.
Woo!
How many touchdowns though?
15.
Is that your cat that I can hear?
Yes.
Or Ryan?
You can't have a Week Zero podcast without.
You can't have a Week Zero podcast without an animal or some car driving in the background or some truck.
I will say though, Chance Nolan only has 7 touchdowns on 8 interceptions.
Oh, so now he leads to Pac-12 in interceptions.
Well, okay. So I think what was that? 3 of us taking Wazoo. Yep. Phil's taking Oregon State. Okay. We got Air Force at UNLV. Air Force is a 10-point favorite on the road.
I've done pretty good with picking UNLV other than that San Jose State game. I'm gonna go with UNLV to win at home in this one, even though they're 10-point dogs.
I'll take Air Force in this one. I like their uniforms.
Okay. I'm going to go UNLV as well. The Rebel Roller is going to be rolling all night in Vegas.
I'll take Air Force. I took Army or took Navy last week, and I got that wrong, but I'll take Air Force. Okay, Memphis at East Carolina. I want to keep saying Eastern.
Memphis is going to come back from their disappointing loss. They're going to get this win in East Carolina.
I am also taking Memphis. I think they bounce back.
Yeah, I'm taking Memphis as well.
I'm going to take East Carolina. Memphis will still be trying to overcome blowing that lead, and it'll hurt them. And East Carolina will get the dub. I'm hoping that I get them right this week on the ones where I'm going wrong against everyone else, because that screwed me. That's how I lost my lead, unfortunately. James Madison at Georgia.
You got to say number 25.
Number 25. Sorry, excuse me. Number 25, James Madison at Georgia Southern. James Madison is a 12.5 win.
This is the toughest team they've played to this point, I think. But I still think JMU is going to get the win. And they're going to be undefeated. Coastal's going to be undefeated, playing each other in the last game of the season. It's going to be
Also, the thing that sucks, James Madison can't even play for the conference title.
Yeah,
if they go undefeated.
Your cat is meowing very loudly, dude.
I think she's in heat, man. Anyway.
I'm gonna take JMU. They show everybody that they should be ranked. I'll stick with them.
Yeah,
Yep.
give me JMU.
I'm gonna go
sorry,
with
didn't mean to jump.
it's fine, but I'm gonna go with the Dukes of JMU.
The best Duke in all of college football.
Yep.
Yes.
Best Dukes. Okay. Number 24, Illinois I was about to say number something, but Minnesota. Minnesota's a 6.5-point favorite.
This one hurt me writing down because you know how Ryan and I love our Fighting Illini. But I just think with Mo Ibrahim back and healthy, I think Minnesota ends up getting the win over Illinois, especially after how bad Illinois' offense was last week. I think Minnesota gets it done.
So my brain is telling me to take Minnesota because I was early on Minnesota and I thought that they would have some success. However, my agenda is telling me to take Illinois because I want Illinois to be ranked when we play them. I'm going to take Illinois.
There you go. Pulling a Ryan right there. He was hoping BYU, or he was hoping for BYU to beat Oregon to make the BYU Notre Dame game a better game.
Yeah.
So Illinois, I didn't realize this also. They were without Isaiah Williams for last week's game against Iowa, which is their best wide receiver. Tommy DeVito was expected to play this week. He's not ruled out yet, and so is Isaiah Williams. For that reason, give me the Fighting Illini.
Give me. I'll split. I'll take Minnesota. Give me row in the boat. They'll row
Also,
the boat.
I'm surprised none of you guys mentioned Chase Brown. Chase Brown is probably going to have another 100-yard game.
Yeah, but so is Mo.
Yeah, Chase and Mo are going to go off. Okay. Iowa State at Texas. Number 23, Texas. Texas is 16.5-point favorite.
So what's crazy about this game is that Iowa State actually, like we've talked about it, Iowa State has one of the best defenses in college football, yet Texas is still a 16.5-point favorite, which is kind of wild.
I do wonder what the spread would be if Quinn Ewers wasn't playing. Probably less under.
Iowa State has only given up over that amount one time when it was against Baylor, but with Quinn Ewers playing, Texas is a completely different team. They're going to win this one by a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Quinn Ewers makes a massive difference, and I'll take Texas.
Yep, I'm going to go Longhorns as well.
Go Horns. Go Texas, I guess.
They're not back until they beat Kansas.
Wait, did they play this year?
Texas and they play in Kansas.
Yeah.
That's so crazy how that could be an actually good game if Kansas keeps playing well. Wow, that could be a really good game. Okay, we got number 16 Mississippi State at number 22 Kentucky. Mississippi State is a 4-point favorite on the road.
I actually want to know if Will Levis is going to play.
I think regardless if Will Levis plays or not, Mississippi State blows them out.
Because their offense has been looking all electric.
I think Kentucky is just going to be so demoralized. I know Josh is going to hate to hear this, but I think they're just going to be really demoralized after losing 2 straight games, especially against a team that's terrible in the Cox.
Cock Commanders, man. The Cock
should have been Cock Commander.
Yeah, go Mike Leach.
Yep, Levis. I was just seeing that Levis is going to play.
I'm still taking. Sorry, I'm jumping in. But I'm taking the Bulldogs.
All right, Phil.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I'm taking Mississippi State.
Josh, high five me. I know wherever you are, just high five me really quick. This is a free point. Give me Kentucky in a bounce back game with Will Levis. Yeah, it is. Give me Kentucky with Will Levis back and healthy.
Will Rogers is the best Will in the SEC, by the way.
What about Will Anderson?
No, Will Rogers is the best Will in the SEC. Have you seen his statistics?
Yeah.
That dude is the Heisman contender. He should be. Anyways,
USC, number 7 USC, and number 20 Utah. Utah is a 3.5-point favorite at home.
I said this before. I'm pretty sure I have picked against USC the last 3
You
weeks.
and me, Lucas, have.
Yeah.
And so they're finally playing an actual good team. And it's in Utah. It's really tough to play.
And it's a night game in Utah.
Night game in Utah. It's tough place to play. So I'm taking the Utes in a close one.
I'm gonna take. Man, I don't want to pick USC either, but I'll take them. I'm gonna take USC, just because I think they are offensively very talented.
All right, so the Trojan is going to finally bust in Utah.
No, it's going to finally break, you mean, not bust, because you bust inside of a Trojan.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Oh man!
Thank God we're so small that we don't have any true sponsors really, or we would get demonetized so quickly.
What if Trojans, like Trojan, actually sponsored us?
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Oh.
Or we get Manscaped instead as well.
Dude, they sponsor everybody.
That's true. Same thing with them and Raid Shadow Legends. Okay. Lucas, Ryan, give your pick.
Utah.
Okay. I'm gonna split. Me and Phil are taking USC.
Oh man.
Kansas at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 9-point favorite. I only can assume that the reason why is because they're going off of assuming that Jalon Daniels is not playing. Because that is freaking ridiculous.
Is Gabriel coming back this week?
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything. Actually, let's check that. I haven't heard anything.
He had a concussion, so he could be coming back this week.
I still don't buy. I'm not trusting Oklahoma.
I still don't trust him at all, even with Jason being Kansas wins this game.
So Jalon Daniels is just came out today, doubtful against Oklahoma.
I don't think it matters.
I don't care if Jalon was playing. I don't care if Hollywood Brown and Baker Mayfield came back to play for Oklahoma. I'm gonna take Kansas.
So yeah, Dylan Gabriel is expected to play. I don't care. Give me the Jayhawks. I think Jason Bean is really good. So
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk. Give me Kansas.
Also, I think Oklahoma's still demoralized after.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, they've lost 3 straight, so I think they've lost 3 straight, so that's going to be very, very demoralizing. Okay.
Ever since I don't really go to the CFP.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've lost 3 straight.
Yeah, you're the curse. Okay, 2 teams that I don't know what to think of. At number 15, NC State. At number 18, Syracuse. Syracuse is a 3.5-point favorite. Like I said, I think the only reason Syracuse is ranked is to make this game look better than it actually is. Because Syracuse, literally, I think, let me look at their schedule. I don't know.
Don't disrespect Sean Tucker like that.
Don't disrespect their quarterback.
Except Sean Tucker really actually hasn't had that many good games. There's a few games he wasn't doing well at all. Okay, these are the teams that Syracuse has played: Louisville, UConn, Purdue. I mean, Purdue's okay. Virginia, who they barely beat, and then Wagner. Meanwhile, Syracuse's next games, they get this game, and they play at Clemson. They get Notre Dame at home. They play Pittsburgh. They get Florida State. They get Wake Forest, and then they end the season.
It's also think about it. And college players have talked about it before when playing at Syracuse. It's a really weird atmosphere because it's in a dome, and the way the noise affects you in a dome, like the Carrier Dome, is way different than what it is playing in a normal dome, like in NFL. So you got to take that into account as well. I think it would be different if this game was at NC State.
Because there's a dome in that it doesn't open.
Yeah,
compared to NFL where those open.
And it's a low dome too. Like it's not like when you go to like a play at a dome and like at US.
We all remember that Clemson should have lost this game
last year.
I'll agree.
Syracuse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. They should have lost.
I will say I think North Carolina State's probably a better team, and it was really hard for me to pick this one. But I think because it's at home, Syracuse is they're still rolling. They had a cupcake the week before in Wagner.
And actually, they
the
didn't
week
even
off.
play this week. They've had a bye week, so they've had 2 weeks
Syracuse
to
did?
get. Yeah, they've had 2
2
weeks to
weeks.
prepare.
So they had Wagner and then a cupcake and then a bye week, and then North Carolina State played a tough game against FSU. I just see Syracuse winning this one.
I agree. I'm going to take Syracuse as well. I don't think they lose until they play Clemson.
Yeah, because they play at Clemson next week.
Right.
So I'm going to take Syracuse in the win. I think they're really good, but if this game was at NC State, I'd take NC State. I think being at the Carrier Dome matters. Also, every game that Syracuse wins and is ranked, the better that looks against Notre Dame in a couple weeks.
Well, Notre Dame plays at Syracuse in 3 weeks, 29th. I just don't think Syracuse is that good. They barely beat a bad Virginia team at home.
NC State also should have lost to East Carolina.
We know. But I'm going to go against you guys, and I'm hoping it works out. This week, I'm going to take NC State.
Oof.
Oklahoma State at TCU. I feel like based on what we all said, are we all going to just take TCU? What we were talking about before.
I'm taking TCU.
Yeah, I'm taking TCU. Give me the horny frogs.
And Phil, are you taking TCU as well?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, clean sweep for TCU. Wow, that's kind of crazy.
Clean sweep in this next one too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why
Why the hell do you have an Auburn game on here?
Because I don't know.
Yeah, it's a clean sweep.
It's the
for
ESPN
Ole Miss.
game, man. It's the first game of the afternoon.
What are they just trying to, make us suffer by seeing?
It's
a terrible
SEC
Auburn
bias,
football?
Connor. Get up with the program.
That
Right?
is true.
Clean sweep
This
here
one's
as well.
tricky. I think I'm going to take Florida State.
Oh.
Okay. I
Florida
do
State
think
at
it's a
Florida
tricky.
State.
I do think it's a tricky one too. At Florida State. Florida State just came off a tough loss against NC State, but they fought hard. I just don't see.
Is this where game day is? Or where is game day?
No, game day's
in,
at Knoxville.
Okay.
That's so.
But this is the game that Herb Street's going to be calling, right?
Could be, probably.
Yeah, I think, because the Tennessee game's an SEC game. Or a CBS game, I mean. I really think Florida State could win this game, but I want Clemson to be undefeated coming into South Bend. So, give me the
Only
Tigs.
for them to destroy you guys.
The Tigs. Give me the Tigs.
That's what I'm saying.
Tigs.
Right.
Okay, give me the Tigs, I guess. No, Phil's by himself. Okay, so cool thing. So I think I shared this before, but this is only the second time in college football history that there'll be 3 games where 3 games of between ranked teams that are undefeated. One of them is this game, Penn State at Michigan. The other is Oklahoma State at TCU. And if I have to go back, I can't remember the other one.
Alabama, Tennessee.
Alabama, Tennessee. Yep.
Did you skip over the team games?
No,
No,
we're doing
this-
guest picker first. I guess we're doing
Oh,
guest
okay.
picker first.
feel
So Penn
Yes.
State at Michigan.
So,
Michigan's
Phil,
a 7-point favorite.
Phil, you
Phil,
will
you
go
go last. We do.
Okay.
So we do our team. Whoever our team is, we go last for that game.
All right, I'll start. Go Blue. 10 points. 22-32. Michigan dub in this one. At home.
I'll go ahead and go next. It pains me to say, but the Fighting Michigan Wolverines are going to win.
Michigan.
Wolverines.
The Fighting Chad
No,
Hennies.
No, you should have gone Michigan Wolverines. Should have done that. Or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Okay, give me the Fighting Mike Hartz because hopefully he's doing okay. Is he okay?
Wait,
Yeah,
wasn't
I
Mike
think he's
Hart?
working from home.
Wasn't
Yeah, he was
Mike
the one-
Hart the running back of the game against App State in 2007? I never put two and two together.
He's that one, and then he collapsed on the sideline.
I just remember the only reason I remember that is
because was that what happened this last week?
He
had a seizure on the sideline. Yeah.
Oh, he had a seizure. Okay. I didn't hear about that.
I thought he got hit by somebody. I turned the game on.
That's the same with you. Yeah,
carted off.
Yeah.
But I just the only reason I asked that is because I remember because I made like an App State versus Michigan video like 2 years ago, and the college game day part where they're like, "This is why college teams should never schedule FCS cupcakes. I expect Chad Henne and Mike Hart to have a huge game against App State and
Mario Manningham."
Manningham.
I think Michigan was favored by like
Preston. We had a good team.
I don't think there was.
Hey, that was the same year. That was the same year that Oregon ran them out of Autzen.
Well,
that was in the Big House. I think
it was Dennis Dixon, right?
I can't remember if that was at home or if it was in Michigan, but
it was at Michigan, I think.
We won by.
We ended up losing a lot of games that year. I think we were ranked top 5.
That would be fun to ever go back and ask Mike Hart, like what his memories of that game were.
Mike Hart actually also called Michigan State little brother, and then they beat us. So yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Mike Hart has been a lot of curses for us.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
I'm obviously taking Michigan by a million points.
Michigan by a million points. Okay, so we're all
taking Michigan.
Did we all take Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh dear God, this is such a bad game.
Tyler Van Dyke
versus Grant. Well, he sucks. So Miami is a 7-point favorite at Tech. VT, despite how bad they are, they've sold this game out. Apparently, it's a sellout. Surprisingly.
I'm taking Miami only because I think Mario Cristobal is a better coach than Brent Pry is. Currently,
hey, Lucas, that's not a very high bar, man.
I know. I know it's not. But as of right now, I just think they're going to be probably a more physical team. Than BT. I don't know.
So, Phil?
Yeah, I'm taking Virginia Tech just because I can't take Miami because their offensive coordinator was offensive coordinator last year.
So you and Lucas got a little connection going on. Head coach and OC.
And he cost us Xavier Worthy. So forget that guy, and I can't I can't choose the Hurricanes.
All right, so
I've only picked them because I would like to win these pick'ems.
Right.
I can't pick Virginia Tech ever.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So Connor, I really want to take Virginia Tech in this game, but Miami looked really impressive against North Carolina and lost by 3. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Connor, but you guys are going to be one game closer to not making a bowl game this year. So give me
we get to play. And you know who we get to play next week, or it's either next week. We play at NC State.
Oh God,
that's our next game after this.
The fact that they project the funniest thing though is they project Virginia Tech to make a bowl game still.
So we get Duke because we get Duke, because we get. I think our remaining games after NC State are Duke, Georgia Tech.
Is it at Georgia Tech?
I think Duke is.
No, it's at home.
So we get Georgia Tech.
Duke is away.
Duke is away, and we get UVA at home. But then we play at Liberty, which that just guarantees a loss right there. Pretty much.
Which I already have a Liberty guy set up to come on the show that week. So
you guys are only going to win 2 more games.
You think we're going to beat Liberty and UVA maybe?
I probably. You might only win 1 more game. I don't see you losing to Virginia.
Oh man!
Especially when it's at home and their offense is worse than ours, and we've won 20 of the last 22 games against them.
Brennan Armstrong might sit out that game.
Dude, that's gonna be the toilet bowl.
That's true. No, that's gonna be
your
the
bowl
tank.
game.
That's gonna be like the college. That's gonna be like the college equivalent of the tank bowl right there. Except there's gonna be no good players that we're gonna get because of that, because no one's gonna watch that shit. Okay.
I wonder how many recruits are going to be at that game.
Virginia's not even going to win another game. Virginia might not win another game.
What's their schedule?
At Georgia Tech versus Miami. They're at home for 4 of their last 7 games, but they're at home versus Miami, at home versus UNC, at home versus Pitt, at home versus Coastal Carolina, and then they play at BT.
Oh, jeez.
Pitt, they could beat Pitt, I guess, but
I don't think so. Okay,
God,
give
Virginia's
me.
down bad.
I mean, both of them are. Give me Miami, but I really kind of do hope that somehow Virginia Tech pulls us out and
And you can say Tyler Van Dyke again.
we can say Tyler Van Dyke, and I can see him. Even if they win, I'll still call him Tyler Van Dyke, because I'm gonna say that he's gonna throw at least one pick. He's gonna not look very good potentially.
All right.
But I'll take Miami. But oh god, so I don't know. Okay,
Game of the week is next.
Game of the week.
game of the week. What a
taking-
barn burner right there.
I'm taking the fighting projected top 10 pick Tanner McKee's in the. No, I'm just kidding. Notre Dame is going to win this one. Pretty easy, but it
Do you
is
take the
crazy that
points?
Tanner McKee is projected a top 10 pick this year.
What
Do you?
Tanner,
do
what
you-
is he? What position does he play?
He's the quarterback for Stanford.
He was
And
a
he's a
5-star.
top.
He
he's
was
a
a
projected
5-star
10
quarterback coming out
He's a
of high
projected
school.
top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he
dude,
doing,
he's
Davis
is he
really
actually
Mills
good.
doing that? Is he
He's
actually doing that well?
Connor, he's
No,
one of the
he's
best.
not. He's just a big white quarterback. I don't know. They just
No,
love him.
Lucas, the reason is he's actually a really good quarterback. Stanford just has nothing around him. He was a couple of years ago. He was a 5-star quarterback and one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the country, and committed to Stanford.
Right.
So he
That
just
was his first mistake.
His first mistake. Yeah,
He was going to Stanford. What'd you expect going to Stanford, man?
Okay.
Um,
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Notre Dame by a lot.
So they cover the 17.
Oh yeah, and another 17 probably. Stanford's bad.
and another.
Yep.
And another.
Connor,
And you get more, and you get 17, and you get 17. I'll take Notre Dame and the points as well.
all right. I'm
You
taking
just do not. Okay.
I'm taking Stanford. No, I'm just kidding. This is one of those
Do
games
not
where-
go into a long soliloquy. Just give
No,
the answer.
I'm just saying. I'm taking Notre Dame, but I'm just saying in this game, I really want us to actually blow out Stanford, because we've had 2 games that should have finished as blowouts, and we let the teams back in. So just actually kill Stanford this time, and don't let them back in the game.
Okay. Cool. Week 0. This is our team. Southern Miss. Team of the year, Arkansas State. Southern Miss. Southern Miss let us down because I guess they lost last week, and we all
They
picked
play.
them
They
to
played
win, right?
Troy.
I picked Troy to
that's
win.
why.
I picked
Oh no,
Troy
you
to
picked
win.
Troy to win because we all were stupid and should have just taken Troy. Because obviously they broke.
You guys are
Southern Miss.
blinded. You guys are blinded by Southern Miss,
Yes.
but I think
They
Southern
busted
Miss
all
will
over
win this.
Southern Miss.
I think Southern Miss will win this game. They've actually played like the teams that they've lost to. They played tough, so I think they're going to end up beating not a great Arkansas State team.
I'm gonna take Southern Miss as well.
Yep. Give me the fighting Brett Favre's.
Hopefully, he doesn't steal any money from them.
He was giving them the money.
right.
Yeah, I'll take Southern Miss as well. Okay, game of the week. Number 3, Alabama at number 6, Tennessee. Alabama is a 7.5 point favorite. Is Bryce Young playing?
Bryce Young is playing.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Vols. I was about to sing Rocky Top. Rocky Top, but I decided not to. I'm
Don't
going
sing
with the
Rocky
Vols.
Top because 1, it'll be stuck in all of our heads, and 2, we'll hate you for it.
I'm gonna take
Rocky
Alabama, and they're
Top.
gonna cover the spread.
Oof. Okay.
All right.
Give me the Tennessee Volunteers And me and Lucas's favorite hooker.
The Fighting Alvin Kamaras. I guess they're both the Fighting Alvin Kamaras.
The Fighting
Right.
Jalon
Oh, right,
Hyatt.
'cause he was at both Alabama and Tennessee. I forgot about that. Was he drafted from Tennessee, though?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he couldn't cut it at Alabama.
Wait, what was the Pittsburgh Steelers
Because he was
quarterback?
behind like
Kenny Pickett.
Oh, no,
Derrick
Joshua
Henry
Dobbs.
and like
Oh,
Yeah,
Dobbs.
he was behind a bunch
The
of
Fighting
guys.
Joshua Dobbs. The Fighting Jawan Jennings.
Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, I'll take Tennessee only because of Hendon Hooker.
That's
Who
crazy.
I
Okay.
just Jesus Christ.
I just can't believe he left VT. You guys let him go, man.
I
I
just
really
can't believe because the offense actually was pretty decent in 2020, but dear God, the play call was just so bad. Cornelson just was so bad. If you have any other competent
I have a
OC
gripe with this
with
next game,
how
and
good
that's
that team
because
was.
I'm cutting you off on your Virginia Tech talk. I have a gripe with this next game because Ryan decided to pick over 2 games where there were only one.
Well, you can
team
get a ticket to
playing.
this game for $1, man.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean actually anything. The one ticket game it means
Lucas
it's
said,
the worst game of the season.
I will go back. Lucas
I know,
said,
but we've reserved this pretty much only for.
All right, I'm
true
I'm
worst game
taking
of
the
season.
Fighting Ben Roethlisbergers in this one.
Oh God, please, we don't want him to actually
The
do
Fighting
anything
Big-
bad.
The Fighting Big
Yeah, I'll
Ben.
take Miami of Ohio.
I want to take the Fighting Urban Myers, but I'm going to take Miami of Ohio. Give me the Red Hawks.
I guess we'll take the Red Hawks. Well, I'll take the Red Hawks. Excuse me. Also, why do we have this game?
It's the Thursday game.
Yeah,
And it might not be a
that's
bad one.
But that's
South
next
Alabama's
Thursday.
only-
But that's next Thursday, and we're doing this on Thursday. So this
Yes.
doesn't need to be
Yeah,
here.
right.
Huh?
It
This
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
need to be here.
It doesn't matter.
This
It doesn't matter. South Alabama's only loss was by 3 points to UCLA. They're good.
No, Lucas, they lost by 2 to UCLA.
Okay. I'm
I
taking.
like South Alabama because their initials would be USA.
Yeah,
That is-
I
USA.
like it.
USA. There you go. All right, Lucas, who you got?
South Alabama.
Yeah, give me USA.
We're gonna take Troy because they will
Are
not
you
break
gonna
on
make, are you
me.
gonna make the joke again, Connor? Are you gonna make
Yes, I will. I already did. I just did.
do it again?
No, Josh, you're wrong. He went to Miami of Ohio, not Ohio University. You're wrong. He actually did go to Miami of Ohio. Okay, and Friday you get UAB at Western Kentucky.
Yeah, another Alabama school. I'm picking the other Alabama schools and not actually Alabama to win their games. So yeah, UAB.
Yeah, I'll
is this
take the
game?
UAB.
No, this game isn't tonight. It's next week. So yeah, it's next week.
So go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, give me UAB as well. I'm taking every team in Alabama except for Auburn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I want to take the Fighting Bailey Zappies, but I'm going to take the UAB Blazers. in
The
this one.
Fighting Joe Webbs in UAB.
Joe Webb.
Yeah, give me the Fighting Bailey Zappies. Zappies. So those are
Zappy
pick'ems.
is zipping in the zipping NFL right now.
Yeah.
He is. He's starting. That's awesome.
Yeah,
All
right,
he might be the better quarterback.
He might be
that's
the
true.
better. He might be better
The
than Mac
matchups,
Jones.
yeah. That's hilarious. So that wraps up the Week 0 podcast. Thank you again to Phil for coming on.
Thank you guys.
We really do appreciate you coming on, man. And so
We
for
kept it
Phil,
under 2 hours, man. We kept it under 2 hours.
if we shut up and we get
Yeah.
this shit, we get this outro done, then we can. So for Phil, for Lucas, has Bo always known McKnight. For Ryan, Irish own Vegas Travel. I am Connor. I banned Candy, Doherty, and this has been the Week 0 podcast. We will be back next Thursday to
At 3
recap all the
p.m.
games at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, and hopefully we have another great week of college football. Peace.